What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. So clearly you see the title of the broadcast. And I thought that, I didn't watch this all the way through, but I thought this was something that actually needed to be talked about. And yes, for a lot of young men in society, our thought process works different. And I'm glad to see that a lot of young men are escaping the debt box of going to college, and dealing with all this rigmarole and getting straight to the facts.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Which is the money. To better their lives, to do things and stuff like that, to start building good careers early. And see, what the thing of this is that we've lost a lot of things as young men growing up without schooling. Back in my day, we used to have shop and mechanics and stuff like that. CDC used to teach mechanics and all the little types of things, stuff like that. That was all taken away from young men, at a certain point throughout history, recent history here. And yeah, we like to work with our hands. We love that. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old school guy. I like to work on my cars and stuff like that. You can't kind of do that nowadays with all the technology. You need these computers to, even put a fucking battery in a car nowadays. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And I remember a time when you could work on your vehicle, change the battery out, alternators, spark plugs, all this other type of stuff. And at the end of the day, though, I like to get my hands a little dirty. But this is what's happening now. It is what it is, though. So it's started to be a reverse of what society's been dealing with and trying to, get men conditioned to for the past 30 years right now. So we're starting to reverse this shit, and we're seeing a lot of young men going back to actual trades, working with their hands, doing things like that. So we're going to dive off into this piece and check this out. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Millions of young Americans are beginning their first semester of college, but one group of recent high school grads in Pennsylvania is instead embarking on a new career. Some of them snagging entry-level jobs to the tune of $70,000 a year after foregoing the traditional education route to learn new skills in a unique trade program. Jeff Flock has our story.
Shop class is back and bigger than ever. I just want to know how many people applied to.
Now, y'all see that, right? Y'all see that, right? Now, listen, look, we're not going to say anything negative here, but the issue is here. We see a group of young men here at this point. They're choosing to be here. This is what these young men want to do. They're comfortable here. And the problem is that these young men will be shamed. They're making $70,000 a year, you know what I'm saying, once they actually get their career going. $70,000 a year is not nothing to, be ashamed about. But in today's society, most men will be shamed for making $70,000 a year, even $50,000 or whatever. And see, this is the issue right here. But, we already know where that comes from. The insecurity on other people's parts, but we're not going to name genders here. But these young men are doing something that they want to do. They love that I guarantee they love what they're doing, and they're engaging in the situation. Let's keep going here, man, because this is a tremendous step for young men in America, period. All young men, regardless of race or whatever the fuck. This is a huge step, and this is need to be followed by a lot of other young men in society. We need young men that are going to engage in this type of stuff. We need welders, construction workers. We need people to maintain the roads. And the problem is a lot of young men are not trying to go into these fields because they're going to be shamed by women for, being a construction worker or a sanitation worker and stuff like that. And these people are the ones that keep the diseases down. They keep the buildings going. They keep the roads going so she could drive her fat ass to the fucking store and pick up her Fendi fucking makeup.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
The hell you talking about?
College also. Anybody? That's the welding program at Father Judge, a selective enrollment all-boys Catholic high school in Philadelphia, where graduates who choose the trades are in such demand they're pretty much guaranteed a job.
You can make money right out of high school, set up with a job. Those people, they go to college, they get a degree, and they can't even find a job.
Everybody brags about going to like this college, and all I see is debt and loss of money.
As opposed to a good job with a pretty impressive income. Can I ask how much money you're making?
I'm making $30 an hour.
Adam Ash.
What? Yep, shout out to him.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
He making $30 an hour right now. Are you kidding me? That ain't peanuts to sneeze at, but hey, listen, look, he ain't got no swag though. He ain't got no swag out here. You know what I'm saying? He can't get the chick because he ain't got no swag. He too busy making $30 an hour out here.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
But you old fish-eyed fool.
You know what I'm saying? These chicks is weird. But these chicks don't really want no real men around them that's actually capable of fixing shit or doing stuff like that because they can't control him. It's all about control. But see, we're not going to dive off into that aspect. The thing of this is right here in this situation is that a lot of young men need to start understanding the debt hook that they're trying to keep young men in nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And this is reality right here. These young men are looking at the true aspect of it. What the other young man said, you going to college, getting into debt, stuff like that. Half them people that go to college, they can't even find a job fresh out of college, but you $100,000 in debt. When they're going to trade, they're picking up, they're doing things with their hands and stuff like that. That let's keep this honest with you. Most women ain't gonna want to do this now. They're not going to, most women are not going to wail and stuff like that. And this is equal opportunity right here. Women can take up trades. So I don't want to hear anybody come up with these excuses about, you know what I'm saying, women, they're making less money and this and that. How about you become a welder, baby? How about you get out there, fix on some trucks? How about you get out there, fix some cars, build some, maintain some roads, do some stuff like that. No, I guarantee you don't want to get out there and do that, but you make less money though, right? The dynamics of the power structure is not right. Oh my goodness, women make less money. Yeah, you don't want to pick up the job that's actually going to pay you.
Byrne graduated from the program last year and immediately joined two classmates at DC Fabricators in New Jersey. They're welding submarine parts for the Navy.
I have a head start on life, right?
What? Welding submarine parts for the Navy. How many? Oh, hold on. Let me ask this question here. How many naval secrets are these young men privy to? Let's just keep this real here, but we're going to keep going.
I got a job already. I have no college debt.
What are you doing right there?
So I'm tightening up the caliper bolts.
Caden Rivera is a junior in the automotive part of the program.
This sets me up for a good job right out of high school.
Do you like working on cars?
I love it. I could do it for the rest of my life.
And now the program is expanding.
Do you see how excited that young man was? We love working with our hands. Like I told you, you know what I'm saying? We love that. We're built for this. This is what we're built for. Building homes, building cars, doing construction work, roads, all types of stuff, even fucking chef work. Because, you know what I'm saying, we know the best chefs out here are men. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to negate that.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Yeah, I got to speak up for myself as a fucking chef. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? All types of flavor and food. We know what you're talking about out here. Let's keep going.
Beyond welding and automotive to heating and air conditioning with all the latest equipment to teach the next generation of HVAC techs so that they're ready to work right out of high school. On the day we visited, 2024 program graduate Joe Seeger was back at his old school, fixing a broken AC unit for Elliott Lewis, the Philadelphia company that hired him right after graduation.
I could have gone to college, but I thought this was my best option.
I feel like with automotive, welding, HVAC, they have a tangible skill that they can take anywhere.
Good money, no debt, and AI-proof skills that can be put to all sorts of uses.
A lot of people, they hate their jobs, but they go for the money. when you're passionate and love something and you get paid a lot of money to do it, can't go wrong.
It is estimated that 12 million people across the country are enrolled in programs like the one at Father Judge that give them a shot at a great career and a well-paying job that doesn't require college. Shannon?
All right, Jeff Black, thank you very much. So, an alternative path. Now, that's something that Dirty Jobs host Mike Rowe has spent his career spotlighting. Americans who have built a fulfilling and often lucrative career without a college degree. Now, as more and more young people, like those at Father Judge, follow his lead, he says our nation is going to be better for it. So you've been in the middle of all these really important conversations about people rethinking automatically you graduate high school, you go to college, maybe you consider going to the military, but you've really wanted Americans to know there are other options.
College is a wonderful opportunity. I have a 4-year degree. It served me well, but the idea that the most expensive path is the best path, certainly the idea that it's the best path for the most people, that's something that my foundation has been pushing back on for 17 years. The headlines have truly caught up with the message of MicroWorks, which is consider a skill that's in demand, master that skill, and then go to work. It still pays off, and I can prove it.
Yeah, and in some ways it really pays off.
And yes, Steve has proved that. I don't know if you out there have watched Steve Jobs. I've watched his shows for years off and on and stuff like that. Like, listen, look, he's winning some areas with some of the most dirty jobs. But those people are getting paid hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars
So what the French toast is there to think
a
about?
year. Those people are getting paid to do dirty jobs, clean out crap from tankers and all types of stuff. Things that, let's just be honest with you here, that the majority of women would not take these jobs. But at the same time, though, too, they will sit there and say that they're underpaid and stuff like that, and they can't make this money stuff. You won't take the jobs that will pay you. Yeah, you're going to have to get in that fucking dirty tanker. Yes. You're going to have to screw those nuts and bolts on in that factory and things like that for those cars. Yes. You're going to have to get out there and pave that road and put that hot tar down. Yes, you're gonna have to do that and make $100,000 a year. But the pay is not equal. Equal for what? For you being a teacher and this man out here paving, putting down hot tar all day, every day, and you in a comfortable building teaching children, and y'all bitches half-ass doing that shit nowadays? Man, stop it.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Stop it.
We're not talking about scraping by on minimum wage. For families or people who aspire to have a family or they just want to have a comfortable life, there are ways to do that without going to college.
It started with Dirty Jobs. That was an entertaining show, but it was also a top-down look at 350 different vocations that most people never really think about. And the crazy thing about that show, Shannon, is that we featured accidentally probably 40 or 45 multimillionaires. But these were people who got up early, stayed late, built a small business, usually around a single skill that they had mastered: plumbing, HVAC, electric, welding, what have you. And built something real out of it. It's a version of the American dream that we don't hear enough about. In fact,
right. It's not represented enough. It's not praised enough. And this is the situations that everybody are living up under. Your AC, when you walk in those buildings and stuff like that, even Kevin Samuels said that white collar men will be nothing without blue collar men. When you sit in that building every day at your office desk, typing in your emails and stuff like that, and you're eating your snacks and stuff, that's what the HVAC doing. And guarantee he getting paid more than you, baby, while you sitting there eating your little snacks and stuff at your office desk, typing on your computer. And then you're wondering why your pay wage is fucked up because you're not willing to do the jobs that it takes in order to make the real money.
shameless plug, but we've been working on this for years. Our work ethic scholarship curriculum is now in over 70 schools. I think we can get it in 700, maybe 7,000. The country is hungry.
There we go, right there. Okay, cool. This is where we at too. Like this. Some of these women are. Here we go, right here. Here we go, right here. Yeah, okay. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Some of these women are waking up, realizing that they're gonna have to get some dirty jobs too out here. But the majority of women is not finna do this. This is the minority of women that would actually engage in something like this. Very minority. And these are just the facts. But shout out to these women right here for actually engaging in this type of job or career activity and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I'm very proud of them. Let's pay them too.
Maybe even starving for examples of people who have prospered without a 4-year degree. And I don't have to tell you, the 7.4 million open positions right now in our country, the majority of those do not require a 4-year degree.
Yeah, and you talk about science backing and research backing for these things that you've talked about. And, you know, when we have seen in recent years, a lot of studies, social scientists and others saying that there is great worth and actual joy and happiness that you do find in work that you find meaningful. I mean, you can have it all in that respect.
People still ask me today, what did the people on Dirty Jobs know that the rest of us seem to have forgotten? Because if you watch that show, you see by and large, people are having a weirdly good time. in many cases, doing the sort of jobs that we've been telling our kids you want to go out of your way to avoid. And part of the answer to that question is constant feedback. They always know how they're doing. They know they're part of a team. They know that if they and their compatriots call in sick for a week, party's over. Whether you're working in a septic tank or building a bridge, or there's so many different ways to earn an honest buck. But we have to put all the opportunities on the table for this generation. And we got to get our thumb off of the scale. And we have to admit, when we took shop class out of high school, we unleashed the Kraken. We opened the door to myriad unintended consequences. And if I had time, I could draw a fairly straight line for you from the removal of shop class to $1.7 trillion in student loans, to college tuition that's way out of reach for most people, and for 7 million able-bodied men who, for a variety of reasons, are not only not working right now, they're not looking for work. There are a lot of things going on in our culture that I think redound to the simple idea that work is the enemy. Well, guess what? It's not.
Yo, shout out to Steve Jobs. He got real on the facts. Man, listen, look, did you hear what he said? And this is the truth. And I said it too. When we took shop out of school, and mostly it was for young men, and it was done on purpose. That was done on purpose to stagnate men's mobility from reaching our goals as men and stuff like that. The majority of men are not going to be white collar workers. That's not every man's plight. Just like it's not every man's plight to be a blue collar worker. It's a balance amongst men. And see, this is the issue right here. When we took shop out of fucking schools, it left us stranded as men, because most men, we love to work with our hands. We love that shit. And, you know, this is where we at now. Now it's a course correction going on, and I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see a course correction going on. Young men are finding the situation at hand here, and they're actually avoiding all this debt, avoiding all this bullshit, the college experience, whatever you want to fucking call it. And they're getting straight to the facts. Straight to the facts. And they're starting to build themselves, and they're starting to be, you know what I'm saying, definitely getting to it. You know, and, you know, like I said, too, shout out to, you know what I'm saying, the few women that actually, you know what I'm saying, take up trades, too. Shout out to them as well. Even though I know it's not going to be the minority of women that actually do that. You know, I mean, well, the majority of women that actually do that, you know, so it's the minority of women that are engaging in that. But, you know, man, yeah, this is a new day. I'm glad to see this is going on. A lot of young men are waking up, starting to leave all this, you know, college woke shit, you know, feminist crap alone. They're getting straight back to the game, things like that, working with their hands, being men again, and I'm happy for it.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.